chair. This one. Yeah. Can you take the hour? Can you take the hour? Blue hour? Like at my job, it's like you gotta call specific names. Anybody who no men. We don't talk about men because it's equal rights for all. Anything a man can do, a woman can do. Unless it's that. All right. So, like, anybody like to share how great their week was? Anybody? Anybody? Oh, I see you. I see you looking at me. All right. How was your week? It's okay. It's okay. What made it just okay? How did you do on purpose? You got the grade yet? Were you confident on the first test? So I guess you weren't the one that cheated. No, okay, all right. All right. Anybody else want to share? Yeah? How was your week? No. It was okay. Why was it just okay? Huh? Valentine's Day? You don't have a Valentine? Does anybody here not have a Valentine? You're not by yourself, bro. Anybody got broke up with the day before Valentine's Day? You say you?
No, I correct.
Got broke up with
Now
the
it's
day
time I
before?
did it right.
All right. I think Valentine's Day is the man's way of taking your money anyway. I mean, come on. I love you 365. What? The 14th, I love you more. No. I mean, yeah, who said it? It's overrated. I express it daily.
Yes,
But now you want me to spend food and gobs of money. I gotta run around.
Yeah.
I can go on the side of the road, selling teddy bears. Flowers die.
Oh.
Most the ones you buy on Valentine's Day die. Big flowers. Who want me to get shot? Can you imagine if I walk in the house and give my wife a big flower? Or a plant. Imagine if I gave her a plant. It's not gonna go down like that. So you got broke up with on Valentine's Day, sir?
No, actually, I have some.
About Valentine's Day?
I'm out.
You talking about Valentine's Day?
So,
How was your Valentine's Day?
my week was good. Special centers came.
Who?
Special centers.
I don't know about.
I'm going to Holland Springs. I'm making it from.
Yes, they have.
What's your specialty? What's your specialty, sir?
Oh, no.
Yo. All right, we're gonna go with that. All right. Yes, ma'am. Woo! New internship. You paid. You paid. Okay, what is it? Birthday color. Tell us about birthday color and Brienne.
Families of color.
Can you stop calling? I remember last time you needed to sit with me.
No, not today.
So I'm sitting next to Miss Mikhail.
No,
I'm sitting
I didn't do
there.
it. We can do it.
You're wasting our time.
No, no, I won't waste
No,
my
it's
time.
not optional. Come on up here, my friend.
Just accept it.
Come on, this is stuff, yeah, embrace it.
I was reserving a seat for you.
Now you gotta down. Come on up here, sir. Not wasting our time. Come on. Thanks, buddy.
Don't look back, get it to yourself.
Yeah, you gonna turn this off. Turn this off. Like I said. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Green. Can you continue? What is
Okay,
it?
so
Birth control?
birth control, I mean, organization,
All right, yes, ma'am. Okay, happy birthday. What is that? How old is that? 13.
Wow.
Is anybody else in your house birthday? Ah! Happy birthday. All right. Go ahead, what else? Did you do for your birthday? Little Black. What's the name of the place? Panda Express. We all like Panda Express. So just have a party in it, right? That'd be great. Everything. Yes, ma'am. Also, anybody else want to share about their week? Who else had a birthday? Woo! Happy birthday. We already did that. You got it. What? We had a birthday party for him. Oh, the whole shindig. Yeah, the whole shindig for him last week. We got it. They had birthday. And he was here to stop. See you, man. You got some wait on too? Let me see.
you know, you had some time on.
Face up?
Huh?
Oh, you got a little bass, somebody said it's your birthday. Yes, ma'am.
This week, it was okay. Like, we didn't have to go to school. So I was so happy. But I had to sign up, right? And but my friend gave me $1 on Thursday. So I was happy about that.
Oh.
I love money.
So let me ask you, so y'all didn't have to do it to work?
We did have to do it from home, but I was living.
So they make y'all get on the screen?
You just did the work. We didn't have to do it.
Oh, okay.
So I was just.
Yeah, y'all get cheated on that some days now. Y'all get to work from home. Get that work from home. School from home. So y'all don't have to make up days in the summer. Also, did anybody lose power this week?
Yeah.
See the hands goes to lost power. That's cool to lose power in the summer, but it's a little nitty. Okay. But and because of that, my week was super blessed. Anybody know why my week was super blessed?
Oh, yeah, funny word.
Yeah, so they there were a lot of trees and branches that came down. And yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm not to share. So, yeah.
Right, and a little offering to.
Yeah, I got my money. Yeah. But yeah. So it was a little blessed week. But there were some folks that, you know, it's okay when you have insurance, but there was one family that did not have insurance. Tree fell on their house. And they were ready to condemn it. So when your house is condemned, they usually mean you have to move out. They were able to stay in the house, but they only have a short period of time in the house. The roof was so long, back wall was pushed in. You don't have insurance. 2 weeks. people on 2 cars. One was 2 months old. But they got insurance. Anyway, all right. Thank you guys again for coming and sharing. For those of us who shared. Try to stay on fast. Great. All right, so now we're gonna have prayer. Open prayer. That's it.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Bow your heads, close your eyes. Oh, everyone, please stand. Now, bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us through another wintry week, kind of, and the week before. I appreciate that you have given us all the opportunity to make it here safely. Thank you for all. Some having power, some not, and then coming back on, it just kind of sucks. Help us as we are about to dive into your word, and bless the speaker who will be giving us your word today. Help us to get a blessing out of the sermon, and so we know here we can move through the heart.
Amen. Going back. You have any pictures? All right, who in here is on band? You're on band. Who of us on band? I guess, yeah. All right. I need to get this. Yeah.
Huh? Hi. Oh, okay, go ahead. You should be able to go on. Override mine. Yeah, I think. Yes, let's try.
Right.
It's not working? Okay. Sorry.
I think we just need to get one thing. You might know what the remote is?
Oh, what? The remote?
Oh, it's on the cart. It's on the cot. The cot.
Right, so I sent a video out this week on band. I don't know if any of you guys had the opportunity to look at it. They might have an opportunity to look at it on band. Yeah. I just sent it out from that. All right, so we're gonna look at it today. While I'm getting this together, everybody know about Youth Church Takeover? Woo! Who does not know about Youth Church Takeover? church takeover is happening at the end of the month, first Sabbath of the month. So basically, we have a youth church downstairs. And, we'll be running the whole program. Yeah, so most of what we do up here will be happening downstairs. And, it's an all-day event. We will be having, lunch after church, then AY, then Sunday. You know what, Daniela,
Yes,
let's get up.
yes.
Tell us about your church takeover.
Youth Church Takeover. I know every single one of you guys have a talent, has a gift. So, if you guys would like to showcase that in a loving, nurturing environment, Youth Church is where you need to be. Specifically, February 28th, Praise Cafe. We will either be in here, give it so nicely, or downstairs now that they're starting to do stuff. So, you guys have a talent you would like to share, if you sing, if you do poems, if you paint and want to show us some of your paintings, whatever it is, whatever your God-given talent, please come out and share that. That is Friday night, 7 p.m. Bring a snack and prepare to receive. We'll also have
Snack to share.
a snack to share.
Give us some examples.
For example, bring that like $5 brownie bite basket from Kroger, or like a bottle of juice. That will just pass you through. Just stuff like that. Bring some
Hot
stuff.
wings.
Hot wings, yep. If somebody, have Deuce in business and wants to bring some Wingstop or Buffalo Wild Wings. But yeah, moving on. Saturday is the takeover. It is going to be all day. We are having Sabbath school. Luckily, we got a speaker for that. So 10 o'clock. I know some of y'all be roaming around, just waiting for every church or regular church to start. But we'll have Sabbath school. So that will be downstairs in the sanctuary as well. And then 11 o'clock, I already know some of you guys have your jobs for that. But if you do not have a job for that, just come enjoy the service, I should say. Bring a friend and bring someone off the street if you want. Bring somebody. Bring everybody. All your friends. We'll have lunch afterwards, like Mr. Kevin said. We'll have a live. And moving on to Sunday, I need to know today, if you have any interest in going to the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. Okay? I need to call them by tomorrow to book. We're having a group discount. Today's the last day. Also, after today, you'll have to create a group price. It's not that much more for the under 18, but it's a little bit more for the over 18. So let me know today. All right. Schedule for the Museum of the Bible. Be here at the church 7:30. We'll leave at 8 o'clock. Get there around 10ish. Get something to eat. No, we won't. Bring something to eat. We'll be in the museum until around 3 o'clock-ish. We'll be able to eat at the museum because they have a nice little restaurant in there. And then we'll be returning back to Richmond and get there about 5:30-ish, depending on traffic. So that is the breakdown of the day. Yeah. Let me know if you have questions. Let me know if you're interested. Please. We have a guest.
Amen. Okay. I think I'm ready.
2008 housing crisis. My generation knows
Ready.
Netflix and Xbox One and PlayStation 5 and Amazon Plus and Disney Plus and ESPN Plus and Shein and Ulta and Sephora and discounts. My generation did not fight to get it. So my generation does not have the same emotional investment to fight to keep it. It's the generation that has not understood that whatever is gained must be maintained. I'm talking about my generation that has grown up to enjoy fruit that they did not labor for. My generation does not have battle experience. My generation does not know Jim Crow. My generation does not know Reconstruction. My generation does not know the Civil Rights Movement. My generation does not 11. My generation does not know the 2008 housing crisis. My generation knows Netflix and Xbox One and PlayStation 5 and Amazon Plus and Disney Plus and ESPN Plus and Shein and Ulta and Sephora and discount. My generation did not fight to get it. So my generation does not have the same emotional investment to fight to keep it. It's the generation that has not understood that whatever is gained must be maintained. I'm talking.
What's this guy talking about? Saying a lot. What are you talking about? Somebody help me. Anybody? Yes, sir.
Going through it and like how our generation right now is like it's shooting off like how we feel and how they struggle and how we just like thriving.
So I thought I had to go to 5 people to get that. Does anybody agree with what he said? Is that true? Everybody agrees with it? You gotta go through stuff too, though, right? What are y'all dealing with right now? Y'all fighting for TikTok, right? You don't want to cut off the fight because we riding TikTok. Like, hey, y'all can't take away our TikTok. Oh, we fight that. What kind of right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Right, but abortion be more or less fighting. You gotta fight to maintain it. Right? That's kind of what he talks about.
Oh, okay. One thing that isn't right now that we're waiting on.
I mean, going with this thing, like, what are we fighting for? What you guys are fighting for? Like a new frontier.
Fighting.
Yeah, fighting it. Right. But like what he said, maintain it. Like, you gotta fight to maintain that right. Because you had that right. But you lost it.
I have one. Who's this? Who's that? Overseas, like, involved in like politics.
Oh, she's free. Like, they're really good. No, so she got the perspective.
That's something that.
Right, yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. Somebody else? You gotta fight. Anybody? Okay. We are definitely living off the fight of generations previous. Right? So one thing we're fighting for is, how many of us in here parent went to Target this week? Right? The last 2 weeks. Target. Yeah, your mom went.
Have no choice, so we're gonna have to move people around.
The rest of us are boycotting Target. Target just now. Never went to Target. Okay. So that's one of the things we fight. Why they boycott Target? Anybody know? They rolled back the DEI policy. Right. So again, that's something that previous generations fought for, gained it, Now, we lost it. So it's something that we're fighting to maintain, all right? Something else we're fighting for. Anybody else? New fight. Anybody? Help me out. Help me out. I know we're fighting Trump. Yeah. Yes. Say that again. Immigration. Yeah. What are we fighting for? Are we fighting to? Immigration is a complicated one. Right. So, you know, immigration is a kind of like a good talking point. But what are we what are we really fighting for immigration? Are we fighting to keep it in place? But what we have in place is bad. What we have for immigration right now is bad.
But it's better than what they're trying to do.
Right, so what we really want is a better, we want a solution. We want it to make it easier for people who are dealing with problems in their country, coming in a better place. But we want them to get here legally. But it's hard to get here legally because there's a whole lot of loose things. But the way they're doing it now is really, where it's archaic. Yes. All right. Anybody ever heard of the Little Rock Nine? Who knows about the Little Rock Nine? Yeah. And who would like to give us a quick synopsis of the Little Rock Nine?
No, that's a different one. I mean, it was girls. And like, two.
No.
Oh, okay.
Somebody.
Yeah. It was cool. They see like pictures, like the girls walking.
First black kids to go to a white school.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah.
An event that forever altered the course of race relations in America. As our image reveals itself, the 1957 school year is about to begin. An angry mob is trying to stop 9 black students from entering Central High in Little Rock, Arkansas.
question I usually get asked is, were we scared? I think initially, we didn't anticipate clearly all of the violence and turmoil that occurred. The first day that we attempted to go through, 8 of us were at one part of the school, and Elizabeth Eckman was at another part. And there was a mob that followed Elizabeth. Then you begin to feel that this was a very hostile people. Even at that point, I told myself if we didn't go through it, didn't attempt to back out, they would just reinforce.
Sound sick. It was cold. I mean, that's the first thing they hit me. The shades, sheep.
She's got a more different
She was, yeah. That's her aura to me as a person.
I knew that the African American community of Little Rock was interested in making a change.
During the 1950s, African Americans throughout the country were trying to make their voices heard. We the Negro citizens of Montgomery,
The name that I usually see this small place, and I didn't feel that I was being treated as a human being. I refused to give up and
Little Rock was a year after the Montgomery bus program. So we had seen the impact of Rosa Parks, the beginning of Dr. King's career, and knew that things could change.
The first step to the Little Rock Nine came in May 1954, when the U.S. Supreme Court issued its opinion in the landmark case, Brown versus the Topeka, Kansas Board of Education. Separate but equal was inherently unequal, and integration was now the law of the land. In 1957, this decision and the power of the federal government were tested in Little Rock, Arkansas.
We didn't, at the moment we were selected, have any idea it was going to be as difficult as it turned out.
In the face of protests at Central High School, the governor of Arkansas, Orville Wallace, calls out the National Guard. His official reasoning is to preserve the peace and prevent violence.
It really wasn't to protect us. It was to make a symbolic stand. It was to protect a way of life in the South, because they barred our entrance.
Hoping to throw open these school doors, President Dwight Eisenhower does the unprecedented. He calls in the 101st Airborne Division of the U.S. Army.
I think President Eisenhower wanted to show that the federal government was supreme. And they could have done what they needed to do with 100 troops. But 1,000 paratroopers was really meant to say.
Under the guard of the U.S. Army, the students are finally able to do something seemingly very simple: go to school. But it would not be easy for Ernest Green or his 8 fellow black students.
School was like going to war every day. The walks from class to class where you had a lot of harassment, a lot of physical violence.
But Ernest Green persevered, becoming the first black graduate of Central High School in the class of 1958. Green would eventually go on to a successful banking career and government service in the Carter administration. But in 1958, integration was not complete in Little Rock. The following year, Governor Faubus closed all public schools in Arkansas instead of complying with desegregation. The schools in Arkansas would not be fully integrated until 1972. Yet, the world will always remember these 9 students who, by claiming their place in the classroom, were claiming their place in history.
Attending Central was special in the sense that it was part of history. It was part of a change. This was reverberating all over the country, all over the world.
All right, how many of us know that story? Just a little bit of it, right? Now, right now, they're trying to ban stuff like that in schools. They don't want you to know that kind of stuff. Yeah. Trying to erase or whitewash that time in history. They call this because we make white people feel guilty. Now, us as a group, how many of us would go to that school, would have been part of that 9? Would have done it, actually done it. Like, you go in and play with people shouting at you, calling you racial words, they spitting on you, they fight you daily. 2, right? All right, we got any parents in here? We got a few parents. Yeah. How many of us would have sent our kids? That's a hard thing, to send my babies to a place where people spit on them. I'm ready to fight. you hear black people now say stuff like, I wish they would have tried with me. I would have did so and so, so and so. You know, it's different. Because now our mentalities are different because again, like the preacher said before, we don't have that, we didn't have to go through it like that. We're experiencing it, we're looking at it from the outside looking in. You know, we Monday morning quarterback. The only person here that probably been through it is probably Cecil. Cecil's probably been through it. I'm only joking, right? But Cecil, he grew up as Mr. Cecil. Alabama, that's like probably one of the most racist places you saw. Mississippi, Alabama, probably the top two. When you be on Mr. Cecil, do they still have crazy stuff like that going on? Did you go to all black school?
I went to church school from 1st through the 8th, and my high school was the first year that they had grade.
See, I thought I was trying to be funny, right? So was that hard, Mr. Cecil?
Fight every other day.
So, and the name of it, we talked about it before in here. There's a term. All right, let me back up. Does everybody in here know the world's not fair? The world's not fair. Oh, I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me now? You got it. So, get it on. All right, so we know the world's not fair. What's the best way to approach that? Should we approach it like it's not fair? Or should we approach it the way it should be?
I think we should approach it that it's not really within the vibration
Anybody else having a feeling on that? Yes. How you feel? I thought you were staying, making a stand and say, oh, you got to use the bathroom too? Y'all working with the bathroom?
You could have sit on PayPal.
Oh, hey, man, I didn't see you, bro. You sit up. Oh, see, take your head up. There you go. All right. So somebody else, how should we approach the world? Anybody? Yes, sir.
Confident with Christ.
So should we approach the world as it's fair or as it's not fair?
Fair.
As it's fair? Okay. Anybody else?
being humble and just love and not outrageous with what you say and what you do, but make sure that people respect you.
So should we approach the world as it's fair or not fair?
Fair.
Okay. Yes.
Approach as a challenge.
Say it again.
Approach as a challenge.
As a challenge, so basically like it's unfair.
Yeah, try to be the best person to be in this life.
We come from, right? All this intelligence is just like blossoming. Stay with your chest done. Kid, all right. In my opinion, we have to approach it as unfair. If you approach the world as it's fair, you'll get run every single. Most of you, all of you. First of all, you're black. Strike one. You are a male. Strike two. Female. Strike two. me. Those are strikes against you in a way. So, I'm always talking about my company, that's why, that's all. So when we go into our group that works in the hospital, we have 6 to 8 black men in a hospital hallway. It's an issue. And everybody else is majority white. They're looking at you in a certain way. So you have to be even more quiet. Because if you talk at the same level everybody else is talking, guess what? You're now being loud. You're talking at the same volume everybody else is. Because of your stripes, you're loud. Is that fair? No. Same place, fighting for a raise. I fought for a raise for a long time. Wouldn't give it to you. You don't have the money. They brought in a company with robots. And those guys couldn't handle the work. They called us and said, can you help us out? And the guy who owned the company, he's awesome dude. He gave me the contracts that they gave him. They gave him more than I was asking for. Right? And they've had an experience with me for years. They knew I work. And he was just coming in off the street, and they gave him the money that we were asking for. By him being what we call an advocate. I don't know if everybody knows what it is. Yeah, everybody. So an advocate is usually what in the DEI terms, it's someone of another race who wants like to have power, fight for you, or assist you in getting in. By him showing me his paperwork, I had a platform to stand on and say, hey, when you're giving him this is what I need. But again, because the world's not, it is what it is. You have to work, as males, you have to work 10 times as hard as the lighter persuasions males. As black females, you have to work 10 times as hard as females of the lighter persuasion. But then on top of that, you guys are also fighting for equity of sexes. Then your fight is even harder. You have to fight for that as well. But if you go about it as in, I'm gonna just do the work and be the best I can and move on, it's just not enough. It should be enough in a fair world, but we have to fight that much harder to get where we need to be. Okay. But anyway, there's a term, and I forgot the name of the term, but it's a term when you have to be the face, the body of your race. So basically, when you go outside, there used to be a term when you represent your family. Back in the day, it'd be like, remember who you belong to, which meant that, my mother is Miss McClatchy, right? My father is Mr. McClatchy. So if I go outside in the streets, in the neighborhood, and I mess up, they're looking at my family. As if I'm a thug on the block, they look at my family and being like, how did you raise your son? So when they mean, remember who you belong to, you have to represent your family when you go in the streets, right? But the term I'm talking about is where you feel the responsibility to be the face of your race. No. Token black person is the reverse, where they hire one black person and say, hey, you got black people working That's a token. Another negative term for token is that one black friend in a group of white people. So now you're the token black person, because then you act like white. That's another negative way of talking about token. The term I'm looking for, and I can't remember, is the responsibility you feel as a black male or female to be on your best behavior because you now represent the race, right? How many of us look on TV and like, when there's a mass shooting, we're not waiting to find out how many people got killed, where, or how, but who? Will anybody do that again except for me? Right there, there. And if we see the black person, what do we do? We're like, man, dang, come on, yeah. And if it was a white person, what do we do? It's kind of crazy, right? It's like, yeah, it's a relief, but we should be feeling bad all the way across. Like, we don't want the bad situation, people will kill. But
There's nuance.
we know internally that if we see a black person did it, what does that say? What are they going to say? They're going to look at all of us. Right? That brings us down. Right? Because they're already looking for excuses. So I'm showing like the same in the Hispanic culture. So like, come on, man, they're deporting y'all right now. What you gonna? Like that one who came across the border and killed that girl at college. He's like the face for everything. He's like, they're raping and killing our people. And they might have killed like 3 people total. And it's just like, but because of him being Hispanic and illegal, like Hispanics are just killing white young girls.
It's like after the plane crash, you see everybody's reporting every single plane crash.
Yeah. And even that's on a different level, because when President Trump started talking about the DEI thing, we were all hoping there was no black people flying that helicopter. Or we were hoping that there were no women flying that helicopter. There was one woman. Co-pilot. So, but the phrase I'm talking about again, can't remember, is the pressure you feel to represent your race. Does anybody go outside feeling that at all, or do you just like anybody? So anybody who takes on that pressure, anybody? How many of us feel like it's whatever? Like whatever. Now that it's an unjust amount of weight to put on anybody. That your entire race is on your shoulders. But again, back to my company again. I can tell you how many times mainly lighter folks will approach me. Your guys are so well mannered. And that's like you call it kind of a backhand kind of big compliment. Backhand compliment. Like, if we were all white, would you have said your guys are so well behaved? Probably not. Even white people aren't well behaved. They're not going to get the same scrutiny that we get. When we went to Oshkosh, I had a white store owner said, "Oh, your kids are so well behaved." Oh, wow. Yeah, they're so well behaved. Again, backhanded compliment. Yeah. Right. Anybody has an opinion on that? Should you and shouldn't? I don't want to hear should and shouldn't. Who believes that you shouldn't have to do that? Shouldn't have to carry that weight. We just discussed the world's not perfect. Okay. So right now, as the world is, we feel like you should not. Any kind of in the back, all right, that's you. And who feel like you should. Yeah, one should. All right, let's hear what the should first.
I don't think you should have to carry all that weight. The world isn't that fair right now. You shouldn't have to walk outside just because the color of your skin, you gotta watch every step you take, every move you make. That's not fair.
I agree. Yes, sir.
feel like we should, not only like to put on better for your race, but like for your family. I feel like it's really important for you to like hold a certain standard for yourself. For like people to see you when you go outside, like they know like you're kind of like a higher standard and like kind of like rookie with like everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Boy. Yeah.
We are all the same people at this point. It's just a color. So, I just think we feel that we should be treated just like them.
Where?
Yes and no. Yes and no,
Mm-hmm.
because it shouldn't be about race per se, but the Bible does call us to be representatives of our Lord Jesus Christ. And as like, so on one hand, it should not be about what we did about race as like under identifying identifiers, but we should always be mindful of like who we represent, being God and like our religion, and just goodness in the world. I'll stop. I got my I do that all the time.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
Sorry, I'll stop.
She got it. Yeah.
I feel like you should, because like I feel like something like you always have to be like aware, because something might happen in your day. Like there's always gonna be some people in the world that just have that just like hate. That's all they do.
Mm.
Be like very aware and be like something may happen and something that might not happen, but you still have to be like people hate. There's so many people in the world that hate.
Yeah.
I feel like you should not. I feel like there's a difference between the pressure that's put on you, and there's a difference between your attitude towards certain things and your personality. If you're just projecting it as a good person, that is something that you should be doing, but I don't think there should be pressure on everybody who is of a certain race to be perfect all the time, because nobody is ever going to be perfect all the time. So people are going to mess up. There should not be pressure on people to feel like they should be perfect all the time.
And come back to what you said about hate. When you look at videos like what we showed just now, how hateful do you how hateful do you have to be as a grown adult to spit on a child? I mean, what kind of hate do you have to have in your soul that you can see a young child trying to go to school, get an education, even though if you don't like it? We showed a video of the six. I mean, how hateful the hate, and you can see the hate in some of those people's faces. Like, they wish you dead, basically. It's hard for me, I'm not a hateful person, just to fathom. Now, I understand, I'm not supposed to hate, but I hate people like that. Me getting away from speaking to somebody like that, I digress. But those are the same kind of people that could lynch. Everybody know what lynching is? Okay. And that's anybody that can bring they used to bring their whole family to lynching, to watch somebody be lynched. That's a level of hate that's hard for me to understand. I heard somebody say, when people say racism is gone, some of those children who went to those lynchings are parents now. Some of those kids who went to school with those kids that were beating them up in the hallways and spitting on them, they're adults now and raising kids. Racism is there. Yes, ma'am.
Just yesterday, I technically have just today, but I got out of it by doing some recruiting yesterday. And the girl that I was out there with, she's a white girl. she grew up like in the country of Virginia. And I'll give her this one little thing. She's aware of it and told me that she like sometimes stops herself and go like, wait, why do I think like that? But the stuff that we were discussing, like for example, this guy that is safe was walking through the park where we were. And she would turn to me, she was honest, she was like, sometimes I get scared when I see people with turbans walk by because like it's just in my head that they're dangerous. And I have to like stop myself and say, hey, that's not true. Like I don't even know that guy. Like he could be, but it's likely that he isn't. So why do I even think like that? And she said that she saw that for a while. And she's only 20 years old. Like she's barely had any life experience. She's like, and I feel like even though we were like born like immediately after the things that happened with like 9/11, like it still affects us. Like you still like it's still ingrained in you. Like it's in your environment. So like, even though we're all young and like most Gen Z people like are very, you know, what's the word? Open-minded. It doesn't change the fact that it's ingrained in you, like you grew up around it. So like even like for her example, she told me like she's aware of it, like that when those thoughts cross her mind that they're wrong, like she should like, you know, not think that way. But it doesn't change the fact that she still thinks that way. And that happens to a lot of people. So the people that raised her were probably those kids that grew up going to lynchings and going to see their parents spit on these kids. So it's still a problem. We're not that far removed from it if it's still, you know, a problem.
And when we talk about these things, we have a responsibility. And that's what I mean, we have a responsibility. And like you said, we're not perfect, nor can we be perfect. But I believe that we have a responsibility to that. And I kind of touched on it last one, you know, people looked at me a little funny. Don't think that a lot of things that we are asked to do is not deliberate. Don't think that when we talked about music a little bit, so Kendrick Lamar, he had a program. What program was he on recently? Anybody know? Super Bowl. Right? And I'm more of a comments guy. Comments. And when you learn a lot about people. Right? And honestly, I was not impressed with the show. To me, it wasn't a Super Bowl show. To me, Super Bowl show should be grand and, you know, exciting explosions. But that's just me. But that's what I would leave it like. I didn't like the performance. But when you go on the comments, you see the hate. You see the hate. People who don't think the only thing we should be doing is throwing the ball and running with the ball. You know, like that lady said, shut up and dribble. Remember that one? There are a lot of folks that think that's all we're good for. We're good for playing sports, singing and dancing. And that's about it. Everybody know what cooning is? Y'all still use that word? Cooning. Yeah, so you know, like when you go in a room full of light skinned people, you show all your teeth. You yes sir, and you're dancing. That's what they call cooning back in the day. When we are forced to make music, and all you gotta do is go through some documentaries right now dealing with artists, and they'll tell you the truth. A lot of artists are forced to go outside of their true character in order to make money. You're not dug in enough. You need to let your pants sag a little bit more. And us that you're outside of the industry, but you don't see that side of it. There are a lot of people who are lyrically like crazy, but they will not get a record deal because they refuse to do that. They're actors was the Black Panthers name? Anybody remember that? Chadwick had a thing where he said he lost a lot of roles because he refused to be the drug dealer. He refused to be the gangster in these movies. Now you look at movies and programs, who are the gangsters, the killers? It's either us or the Hispanics. All right? Yeah. But their thugging is different. The Italians and the Russians, their thugging is different. They're vicious. When they're drinking, they're sitting in a really nice club that has money. Yeah, and they're drinking little sips of expensive drinks and stuff like that. When we thug, we hanging on the corner, we pouring booze out, we got strippers, we talking all kind of broken ebonics, and you know what I'm saying? We're ignorant. All right. Don't you guys for any reason believe that that's not by design? It keeps white folks scared of you. It emphasizes what they believe. So when they see you coming down the street and you're dressed like a thug, Mr. Kennedy, I'm like a thug. We, as a race, for whatever reason, and I know in this room, we have a lot of also people. We have, for whatever reason, been trained to embrace thugging. Like, being a thug is a positive, like, it's why I call you a thug, like, yeah, I'm a thug. I got the tattoo on my stomach. I'm thugging, because it's really going over here. You know? Black men have been trained to not. We're trained to look mean. Because it's a defense for us, you know. We're trained to be always on the defense, right? You know, you smile too much, you're soft, right? But you got a scowl on your face. You're hard, you're that guy. But guess what? It transfers over to the white folks too. Keep them scared. And when they see you in the movies, when you give your rap songs, right? Crazy white people music, that's still underground. They don't play on mainstream radio. Our thug music and whatever music, it's all over the radio. It's all on my channel. It's on their channels. You know, do not think that it's not by design. So when we talk about the reflection, we do have a responsibility. And when we shirk that responsibility, it continues degradation and the holding down of our people. So is it fair? The world's not fair. And we have to do it. The Bible talks about us being our brother's keeper. We are our brother's keeper, and so it's part of our keeping our brother and making it easier for the next round of folks behind us to have to carry that weight. When Danielle took my line away, took my part, what I was going to end this with, we are a reflection of our parents, and we are also, as Christians, we are reflections of our Heavenly Father. We need people to be able to say, without us even saying a word to them directly, that that guy must be a Christian. Because of how we act, how we speak, how we move. The excuses of it, this is just me, this is how I was raised, things like that. That's okay for a little while. The Bible says, come as you are. And a lot of people like to use that as a forever phrase. That is not what that means. It doesn't mean come as you are and stay as you were. It means come as you are accepted, but being around me, there should be some change in the way you move. After a while, things should start changing. It doesn't have to be instant. It doesn't have, within 2 months, you get a halo around your head, you start floating around church. It means there should be subtle changes that happen within your life gradually. That's why they say watch who you hang with. Even your friends should change. The circle should change. You're not leaving them behind begrudgingly, but after a while, your friend circle will change because you're not doing the same things you used to. You're not acting the way you used to act. All those things will change. So now you become a reflection of the Heavenly Father, Jesus, of good Christian people in your circle. And I say good. Now Christians are good. So the world is not fair. Racism isn't fair. Understand you're gonna have to work twice as hard as everyone else, especially until you get to the point where you are controlling your own businesses, running your own company, and even in that, you still work with somebody. You have to come in the room just like my man here, GQ'd out, respectful looking. You don't go meet a potential client in a t-shirt and some ripped up shorts and I saw someone as well. Crocs. Here they banning those in some high schools and schools, period. They're banning Crocs. And it's a thing that's happening all across the country. It's the same thing. People trip on them. You can't run in them. If they're the school shoes, you're running in Crocs, you fall. Yeah, if somebody's shoes, you ain't gonna reach down to your feet and put your Crocs in and what's take them home. Put the glass on the ground. Everybody. Yeah. If you have a reasonable pair of shoes. Anyway, we digress. Again, we have a responsibility as Christians to represent Christ. We have a responsibility as people who represent our families, our church. It is a burden that we have to carry. The Bible says, my yoke is easy, but the black people's yoke is easy. And that's just the way it is. So that's my Black History moment. And that was not a McDonald's moment. There was a McDonald's. Is it McDonald's? Y'all know what McDonald's is? Coming to America. Coming to America. The black man who went to McDonald's. He had to sell. He had a franchise that was just like McDonald's. I call it McDonald's. All right, I'll get it. All right. Let's see, our musicians are here. And our music offerings next. All right, offerings next. Who do we got? You offering? Oh, Stephen. Okay. You're not supposed to stand up a certain time, like when they're doing, they call them for people to come up, save their lives and stuff, and you stand up. Wrong time.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Stephen.
It's time and offering. You can offer in the basket, or you can offer online at this is 2 ways. Yeah, very free. So, my first was 2 Corinthians 7:7. Each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. Enjoy generosity, that's what it is about. Trusting God with your love, Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 to 21. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also.
Amen.
And Proverbs 11, verse 5. A generous person will prosper, but if refreshes, others will be refreshed. So, tithing isn't a tax, it's a trust exercise with heavenly return.
Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good.
Yes, he is good. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Yes, he is good. He is worthy, worthy, for he is good. Yes, he is good. Worthy, worthy, oh, he is good. Yes, he is good. Thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Yes, he is good. He is worthy, worthy, for he is good. Yes, he is good. He is worthy, worthy, for he is good.
Stand.
Please help keep offerings that need to be in this church. Hallelujah.
Amen. All right, Stephen. Before Stephen goes, let me say some stuff about Stephen. Let me tell you something about Stephen, right? Let me tell you what bothers me about Stephen. How many of us in here know that Stephen is a very, very intelligent person? How many of us know that Stephen gets honors in school? Just told us you were accepted to a special school. You know. Yeah, so Stephen is getting accepted to a special school. How many of us know that Stephen is in an accomplished position?
Yes.
All right. How many of us know Stephen is a track star? What do you run, Stephen? I just feel like when Stephen comes in, I don't know if it's a little bit because of the awkwardness, it's a little awkward.
It's okay.
So he uses his humor to fit in. And that's what I did when I was a lead man as well. My humor. I was beat one time. So. Sometimes I feel like Stephen downplays his intelligence and his abilities to fit in. And that is never good, especially at church. Church is a place where we should all feel safe. We should all be willing to use our talents. We should all be willing to excel without ridicule. So I really blame us in here for Stephen's behavior.
It's great, it's great.
So, I mean, if we were giving off the vibe of excellence, if we were giving off the vibe of acceptance, at a certain point, Stephen would understand that in this space, I can do myself. In this space, I can excel. In this space, I can share my intelligence and the talents that I have without fear of being looked at awkwardly. So this is a safe space, and it should be a safe space for everybody to do what you do and be yourself. Maybe not a person sleeping on the wall. That's not that safe a space. If you're falling asleep on the wall, please get to sleep. That's night when you should be sleeping. Alright? Stay off your phones. But again, you know, you see me pick on Stephen, I know Stephen is the awesome person on the inside. Deep on the inside. You need to let that come out sometimes. So I can see it. I mean, I know it's in there. But on the outside. We'll take this on down. Next we have music. Let's go. Do we have any junior deacons in here? Junior deacons? Are you a junior deacon?
Yeah.
Are you a junior deacon?
Oh, she helped out.
Shit, Stephen.
Stephen, good job. Stephen, Black Sox next time. That's okay.
All right, good morning and happy Sabbath, everybody.
Good morning.
I said good morning, happy Sabbath. Some of y'all didn't respond. I'm talking to y'all, right? Good morning and happy Sabbath, everybody. Yeah, thank you. So we are going to sing a few songs for y'all. Y'all know the drill. It's very regular. Y'all not new to this. Y'all true to this. So I would like you guys to sing along with us. And yeah, everybody just participate and feel free to worship the way you want to worship and express yourself and be a part. Amen? Amen. All right. So how many of you all know the song Lift Every Voice and Sing? So we sing it last one. Is that familiar to y'all? All right. So, being that we sang it last week, I need participation from all of y'all, okay? All right. I'm looking at you. Can I see thumbs?
Got it.
Thumbs up. All right. We got it. See, I like that energy. All right. Let's get our energy going. All right. Lift every voice and sing. The words are on the screen. Watch it. Lift every voice and sing, stiller than heaven. Bring with the harmony. Bring with the harmony of lift. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Everybody together. Sing a song full of the hope that the presence has brought us. Sing a song full of the hope that the presence has brought us. Facing the rising sun.
us march on till victory is won. Only the road we trod, bannerless trusting rock. Filled with the days when hope unborn and died, yet with the steady beat of our weary come to the place for it's our people side. We have come over a way that where tears have been brought. We have come treading our path in the blood of the slaughter. Now from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the black sea of our bright star is God of our weary, God of our silence, that's forever and brought us far on. God of our life, let us forever on the path we pray. We're in the path we pray. Everybody now together, let's go. Grace from the past. Our God will be there. Let's go. From the mind. Come to the water. Where we forget peace. Now we need that may we forever stand true to our God, true to our King. All right, this one is one that y'all know and love. It is called Ride On King Jesus, and it's easy if you don't know it. So find somebody that knows it and sing along. Ride On King Jesus. All right. Right on.
Ready? Yeah, I got y'all know the girls. Ride. Almost got it? All right. Y'all can put your hands together. Y'all know this time. Come on. Let's go. Say ride on.
Right on, King Jesus.
No man.
No man can deny me. Right on, King Jesus. No man can hinder me. No man can hinder me.
Say ride on.
Right on, King Jesus. No man can hinder me. Right on, King Jesus. No man can hinder me.
Ride on, King Jesus, ride on. No man can endure me. No man can endure me. Ride on, King Jesus. No man can endure me. Ride on, King Jesus, ride on. No man can endure me. No man can endure me. No man can endure me. No man can endure No man, no man can endure me. No man can endure me. No man can endure me. No man can And our next song is the African Worship Medley, something that gets your blood pumping. Feel free to stand up, and we have some action to go along with it. So, yeah. It'll be fun, right, guys? And the word that on the screen is so calm. Oh, yeah. Sing along with it, feel free. There we go. Okay. All right, y'all can put your hands together like this. In the morning, when I wake up, I will sing my praise to my Lord. I will shout and sing to love. You have been my help, all the time. I say,
final say. You say. Final say. God has the final say. You say. God has the final say. No matter what your teacher say, you say. God has the final say. No matter what the doctor say, you say. God has the final say. You know I turn my life. I turn my life around. You take away, so away, when there is no way.
That's the fortunate thing about, actually, goals from my daily life. The Lord always speaks to us in some way, some fashion, all the above throughout, throughout the life, throughout the week, throughout the days, to kind of be receptive to hearing the essential. So that's really what this message is going to kind of be about. You guys about, struggle of being a minority, fighting for equality in a system that is, founded on principles that's not, for your benefit, essentially, right? So that's what this message is. Kind of want to be about, the clip that Cass played earlier, it brought to my mind a similar story in the Bible, and it's not, we're not talking exactly about the same thing, but one of the things that I thought about in the clip that he played was the actual fight and what we learned from the battles that have been fought before us and the battles that we go through currently. So, how many of you all learn most of your lessons from the high points in your life, when things are going easy and that kind of thing? Have any of you all actually learned any lessons being on the precipice, the mountaintop of what you thought was like? Have you learned any lessons at being up there? Yes, I heard yes. So talk to me about it. Like, what lesson did you learn being at the top of the
First for me, budgeting, financial stability, learning to, allocate funds.
Okay. So what exactly was the precedent? Where were you at?
I was going to my job, getting more money, and awesome that I ever had before. Yeah, so just learning how to keep that, keep going forward.
Okay. That's all really, for further clarification, you learned the lesson at the top. So what exactly was the peak moment and that you had in that experience? What is the peak? What is or how would you define it? Okay, so having the money. Okay, so having the money. So what did you learn at that peak moment?
I have to kind of have a, save, of course, too, but also how to keep progressing in my career also.
Yeah. So did you learn, while you were at the top, or did you learn that on the way to the top?
Both.
Okay. Like, anybody else? I heard some other yeses. Yeah, talk to me.
I kind of learned, I'm a track runner, so at school I was doing well, really well in my school. I kind of learned that hard work beats talent. I see a lot of my friends just kind of walk on the track team, I come to class, so I just run, and as time goes on, and I practice more, and less people are showing up at practice. When it comes to the beats and not doing well, I kind of learned that hard work will always beat talent.
So what is the moment in that, where you, in that scenario?
I broke my school record for
Okay. There you go. Broke the school record. Good stuff. So you learned that at the peak where you broke the school record, you learned up there that the hard work beats the talent. So it's the payoff. The payoff, okay? And I think similar situation is yours. The payoff is there. You go to the middle of the payoff. Good stuff. Anybody on this side? Me on this side. Got two great examples over here. So the flip side of that then is that you guys learn your lessons in the actual struggle, the battle. You guys would. Yeah, that's what you said.
So I'm in nursing school, if y'all know, and I have that I've been working on in quite a few areas. And I guess when I was doing my prerequisites in college and in high school, I didn't really have to do a lot of studying because those classes weren't super difficult. I guess for me to be able to grasp, I know that everyone's different, but I just felt like I've never really had to deal with that and actually study and actually put in work and intentional effort to get where I wanted to get when it came to scholastic.
So when I was in my first semester of nursing school, I did not do so hot in, one of my classes, well, second semester, sorry. And I ended up having to do it again because of the fact that I kind of did not have those, study skills that were supposed to have been ingrained in me. And I didn't put the intentional time and effort that I probably should have into actually trying to grasp the content. But now, you know, upon reflection on that low point, I am able to have the tools now to utilize to kind of see what I'm in for and to know what learning style best suits to mine and to be a lot more intentional and consistent in my efforts to do that. So that was a low point that I had learned from. But we're doing better in doing things.
Amen. So you got the rock classes.
Yeah.
Drop out of the semester.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so fun stuff. But we're back here by God's grace. Everything happens for a reason.
And I've been there. Like I did the same thing. I had to go back to school. That thing was so bad that I had to. This is for all you guys that you're not in college yet, right? They have this thing where they like to give you money, and they expect that you know what you're doing as an 18-year-old. So they give you all this money, right? So they give me this loan money, they give me this grant money, and my mother is a terrible example of it. I saw her getting money going to school. She went back to school. So they gave her all this money, and she was going on trips to Hawaii and stuff like that. Right? It's a terrible example. And so I won't say that, you know, I had the best mentor in that aspect, but I did the same, not similar to her. I didn't go anywhere, but I got this money and I spent it, of course, and I did fulfill these studies. Similar situation. I was already smart, and so like I didn't say, hey, don't do this, but don't do what I did. But when I was in high school, I was smart enough and my memory was good enough that like I knew the stuff, I was interested, but I wasn't actually interested in being there. So I like learning. I just don't like being around all the people, waking up at 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning to get there. So that was a big problem for me, right? So I go to school and I had this terrible amount. I loved history, but I had history in first block, but I was in Michigan. And then y'all know Michigan's cold, like all the time. And so I had to go to school, it's freezing, and so I gotta walk to school too. And so I'm always late. And my teachers called me the Barry Bonds of tardy. And so like if you get 3 tardies, you get 1 absence, you get 7 absences, you out of there, right? So I got like 20. So technically, I was 1 shy, and so I didn't have to do that. But what really pissed me off was that I liked being in this class and I liked learning stuff, but I was kind of bored too. I might have been ADHD, never been diagnosed, don't know. But I like to draw as well, so I'm a good artist. And it's a gift. It's not something I have to work for, it's just something I knew how to do, right? So I'm in class and I'm drawing pictures of celebrities and all that other stuff. And you can imagine this draws attention that he hated it and all this other stuff. But I had 1 semester, I'm not proud of this, I'm not promoting this at all. I got all, except for gym class, I got an A in gym for sure. I got pretty much all F's before the final. And I was able to, and I knew, like, if I get a 59, if I can maintain the 59, because I didn't do, it's not that I got a failed test, I was graded tests. I hated schoolwork. I hated homework specific, because it's like, if I'm, and they like, this is preparing me to, you know, work in real life. And I'm like, I don't plan on taking my work home. So why am I doing homework at home? As a student? And so, like I said, not proud, I got all A's on all the finals. And that brought my grades up to all B's. So I passed it. But technically, I passed. It was terrible though. It was terrible. My mother was pissed and all that. So the point of all that is you need to learn to develop how to study in those years. Because the habit that you build by not doing it is not going to carry you over well when you get into the college years and all that. So don't do what I did, essentially. That's it. That's what I said on that point. You had your hand up, yes.
I want to relate to y'all because I just
Yeah.
My grades weren't that bad, but like, yeah, I'm on cloud nine, 6 on a test, so, and I studied, I went to but that was my side. The other side to like the question that you originally asked about like being at the top and like learning through the struggle. There's like another side to it because you can be at the top without like it can be like an experience, like here's a taste of it. Now you have to get it's like one thing like college internships or like high school internships. I had an internship at a Fortune 500 company all through high school, and I liked it there. I saw success all the time, and now here I am in college, like, how am I supposed to get there on my own? Because I was just in it all the time, and I'm like, okay, from the outside looking in, it's daunting. But while you're in, you can see like what happens. Like you can learn how to play the game. You can see like all the players and all the moves that people make, and you have to like adapt to like all kind of like what we were talking about earlier, like how you have to adapt to all the struggles that you have against you. Like it was a very white office, and I'm a very black young girl. So like if I want to get there, which I don't, but if I did, how am I going to play the game that they already have to play while operating with all these things against me?
Yeah.
So it's like you can learn during the struggle, but you can also learn outside looking in.
Absolutely. 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 So as we talked about the subject earlier, it's really, when I look at the people that have come before us, and like they actually had to fight, like they were like not just fighting social norms and all of that other stuff, I mean, like physically fighting as well. When we think about them and what they've had to go through, and I kind of look at my life, but I've had to go through, I mean, like the comparison there it's not the same. Like it's very different. Now, I won't say that like, I'm older than y'all, so I've gone through some crazy stuff. I grew up in Indianapolis, and Indianapolis, y'all don't know, is a pretty much a KKK hotspot. They were very strong. My mother was ignorant about it because she liked to, they used to have rallies. They had KKK, but even when I was, and I'm not that far from y'all, so like they were having a rally one time in Fountain Square in Indianapolis, and we just so happened to be coming through the district, and my mother, she likes to provoke. She like common sense, and so she's over here yelling out the window and stuff. I'm like, you see how many of them there is? What are you doing? Anyway, so I've been through some of that, and mine is on a minuscule level compared to what's come before us. Like I was on a bus in Indianapolis, and the back of the bus is like kind of reversed. So like all white kids were in the back, the racist kids were in the back. And so they that one particular kid, I mean, he was the smallest of them, but I mean, he packed the racism, every little vein he had in his tiny body. And he asked me, we're racist, do you know what that means? And I'm like, no. But yeah, like he asked me this, and it's pretty much, and it's not just me, I have I have two brothers that were on the bus with me, and they just so happened to be, one of them sat up toward the front, the other one sat back. And he asked me this question, and I was like, yeah, I know what it means, but it doesn't. Like what we talked about here. And we ended up being an ongoing thing to the point where he decided to lock up with me. And I'm very much taller than him. And this little kid, and he's talking about this stuff, is taught down to the next generation. This little kid spits in my face. Right. Like I said, I'm not that much older than you guys, so it's not that. Yeah, and so like me and my brother, we tore that bus up that day, but everybody was kicked off suspended. But it's literally not that massive difference. Like that much older than you guys. And so these kids, they are taught some of these things. Now, can we say like some of this stuff is a little bit more regional? I would argue But these things, they definitely still happen. And as I think about the struggles and the fights that we are currently kind of going through with the taking away of EI initiatives and all that other stuff, it should be even more ammunition for our generation to continue to fight for those progressions that have already been made. But at the same time, I also see the flip side in there is a apathetic type of attitude towards some of these things. As in, an apathetic means just like, it doesn't affect me, so I don't really care. So that's, I see this, and as I've kind of looked at even in the biblical narrative, it comes from how we're raised, essentially. So just like he was raised that way, like we're kind of raised in a certain manner, and some of it is kind of due to our parents have fought so hard to keep us out of situations, to keep us away from things that could harm us, stuff that even away from things that would kind of mostly challenge us, that could grow us, but because of our parents' fear, it's like, no, we don't want our babies to go through certain things. And it's more like, for me, it's like, I'm all for, like, my kids get sick, let them be sick. I don't care. Let them be sick. If they something happen, they want to leave them there. Let them figure out how to get out. That's kind of how I am. And it's just because I've seen like the opposite of that, where we coddle too much and we've kept them safe and away from things too much that they don't even know what they're doing. And it's one of the stories that this reminded me of in the Bible was David. David and his son, Solomon. He passed over the throne, First Chronicles 22. And verse 5, David says, my son Solomon is young and he's inexperienced. He doesn't know anything. And we know David. David was a man of war, right? So David knew, like, he done fought everybody, the whole 9 yards. Everybody knows that he's established the kingdom. And then he tells people now he's ready to build a temple. And God tells him, no, you can't do that because you got too much blood on your hands, right? And so because of that, just because of that, he says that your son can build a temple. So Solomon can build a temple, but David knows Solomon has not experienced anything. He's been coddled, kept in the comfy confines of the palace, and raised by his mother. That's Sheba. He's aware of the palace culture, like he knows what's going on, but he hasn't had to participate in anything that's really going to touch him broken. And as we look at how Solomon grows up, he is smart enough to know that he's not smart enough to lead people. So he's wise enough to ask for more wisdom. He's wise enough to answer that. But even in the latter part of the years, there is a disconnect between actual, like, any type of struggle for him. There is a kind of a disconnect that happens between those guys. He begins to entertain all kind of stuff. And that happens for the later part of his life. And so the one thing that I guess I want us to be aware of is that if you know that growing up, you learn these things in life history programs, you learn these things in school, you learn these things through whatever your parents are actually teaching you. Ask your parents about their experience with some of these things. And know that these things are not that far removed from you. And then as you begin to take that on, make sure you do not become apathetic to things just because you do not affect you. Like immigration. Immigration doesn't necessarily affect you like that. Like you have to go out and say, like, look, everybody in here, and maybe with the exception of you, I would be like, everybody here is safe. Yes, it's safe. You're the only one person here that can possibly pass the Mexican. With the exception of you, everybody else in here. No, I think it's just cross the border. That's the plan. It's not that you know, dark, I don't know. But we want to make sure that we don't become apathetic towards things that's affect a lot of people, especially in a negative way. We're talking about families being torn apart and all of that other stuff. Like, we want to make sure we don't become apathetic towards that. The other thing, the last point that I'll end on when it comes to struggle, we talked about earlier today, do we think it's fair? Like, should we have to go through these things? And you guys brought up a lot of good points. Somebody brought up a point that, like, some of these things we will have to go through because, you know, Jesus said, you will struggle. And we have to remember that just like there's a strong push for immigration, people want to get there, then it's the same thing that's happening for us. Jesus has allowed the way for us to pass through to heaven. There's no, you can't sneak there. There is actual ways to get there. And he is that way. So we just want to make sure that we keep that in mind. And kind of think about the way that Jesus would have approached some of these things while he was here. And people think that Jesus was all peace, love, and soft kumbaya type stuff. And no, Jesus. Yeah, it's like, so you want to be like Jesus, sometimes you're going to have to flip the table. It's just what it is what it is. So we have to be able to know when it is the time for that. And when we need to kind of back up. Good trouble. That's what Lady John did. Good trouble. Good trouble. You need to be able to engage in that. So not saying not be afraid, but don't be afraid to the point that you just don't take action. You still need to have courage to do something as well. So that's my little, I would say, big chicken. So that's chicken. That's like chicken. You're not that chicken in church. We can call it chicken. That's not the chicken. So that's all. Let's stand up. Let's have a word of prayer. I'd imagine everybody about to.
Yeah, they are done.
Okay. Let's have a word of prayer. Father in heaven, we thank you so much that you have provided a way for us legalized citizens in your heavenly kingdom. Father, we thank you for both the soft life that we have been able to experience, and Father, we are also, even though we may not like it in the moment, we are grateful for the struggles that keep us close to you. We are thankful for the struggles that let us know that we do still need you. Father, we ask that we will not allow ourselves to become apathetic or hard of heart towards those who are disadvantaged by the things that we get to count as privilege. Please help us to keep our minds open, to keep our hearts open towards them, and to treat them as you will have us treat them the same way that we would like to be treated. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
All right, before you guys go out of here, real quick, real quick announcement. This is next for you guys who are on band. So we're getting some youth church t-shirts. And the plan is to wear them to DC, but it might happen on Saturday. We're not sure yet. So what we would need you to do is go on the band. You can inbox me, or you can put it out there for the national team, but Mikhail, and Daniela. If you're on the youth church team, can you raise your hand? Youth church team, raise your hand high. All right. Mikhail, she's not here, but you can inbox those folks or me personally. Or like I said, you can put it on there. We need your t-shirt size. Yeah, if you want to just give it to Danielle today, give it to Ready 10. So we can get t-shirts out for everybody. So we can have it for that week. Other things, we'll be reaching out to you and your parents to maybe help cook something for that weekend. So be prepared for that as well. You have an announcement. And there's no AY today, right?
No AY today. No AY today. Don't forget your t-shirts.
There you go.
Hi guys, I'm just representing the area real quick to, first of all, I want to make sure you all know that we have our benefit Saturday evening, 6:30, and we would love to have you all there. More than welcome. I wanted to make sure that I can spoke for the young folks as well, because everything going on downstairs, I realize you all very calling. Really important, I'm really hoping that I can pull from a few of you, particularly alumni, but it doesn't have to be. We're in need of a few people to usher, a couple people to greet, and some folks to help serve food. And I'd like to say that if you guys can help me out with this, you're in for free. We always take care of those who are willing to help us on the day of the banquet. So I think I need maybe 2 more ushers, 2 more greeters, and a few servers. So if you're willing, please hit me up or hit Danielle up and she can let me know. Thank you.
Another quick thing about Youth Church Takeover Weekend, the Praise Cafe, again, we actually got to bring snacks. Bring the food, bring up to the 5 people. Can't bring me now, you know, so be, to something good. Also, we actually invite your friends, that's the most important part. Invite your friends, especially Saturday and Saturday, and for the cafe, we're doing talent. So if you have a friend that sings, does praise dance, church dance, word, lyrical words, rap, sing, whatever. Invite them to be part of the program. And that also is a form of outreach. God allows to ask give some outreach. This is an easy way of you doing outreach. Just invite them to a program where they can exhibit their talent. And Pathfinders tomorrow. All right. Thank you. We got one more announcement.
I'm just kind of reiterating what Mr. Kevin said. The Youth Church Takeover, I don't think that we officially kind of announced it up here with you guys for real, but we have a promo video, and it's on the next slide. Mr. Carson, you could be on that.
Weekend 2025. Coming to you live for a full weekend of fun and faith, starting February 28th, 7 o'clock p.m., then the very next day at 11 a.m., and then the very next day at 8 a.m. sharp. We're starting it off with a bang on Friday, featuring the grand revival of the Praise Cafe, featuring an open mic where you can showcase your talent. Saturday hosts the official Takeover Day program with special guests like speaker Gaston Pierre and BC graphics. The partners are very
Let it cook.
If you're on band, you can see it there. If you're on items, Instagram, you can see it too.
So, yes, we're hoping that all of you all can show on the next slide after these videos. There is something where you guys can scan. Like you said, the Praise Cafe, we want to see all talents. If you guys have a talent, like you said, Steven, hey, you, in the back. You can play the piano, right?
I know, I'm making some jokes.
You can
Offering.
any talent of any form, by any means, you guys can sign up, or you guys can come to me and give you your names if you're not well versed with the QR code. That is okay. Please, we want to see all talent, so I need to see our pianists, and I need you guys to join and be a part. And the group rate for the DC trip on that Sunday, we are going to the museum, the Bible at the museum. You guys can scan that form, and that will take you to it, and all the directions for payment and everything is on there. The group rate ends tonight, so please, please, please get your group rates. It's cheaper, a lot cheaper than not. And yes, be a part, and church takeover is in 2 weeks. And we're doing TikToks after this to promote. So if you want to be a part, just stay around for a moment, okay?
All right, thank you, and also like to, round of applause to, our youth church team that stepped their game up from the beginning of the year. Had music every time, but we got a nice couple of things up there. So give them a round of applause, and you all dismissed. Thank you.